I haven't even like started and I'm already sweating my ass off. This shirt's gonna be soaked by the time I'm done talking today. I wanted to get out of the office. I wanted to come and just kind of hang out. Apparently there's some construction going on back there, so I probably should keep walking and look for a better place to talk about what I want to talk about, which is a midlife crisis. So I've been thinking a little bit about midlife crises and whether or not I'm gonna have one or not, and really what they actually mean and what they're a symptom of, because truly I really feel like that's what it is. You know, I think in our society we give this like midlife kind of like adjustment sort of like a bad name, right? Because I think a lot of guys basically fall into this trap, right? They basically do what is expected of them for their entire life, right? They listen to their parents, they listen to their friends. They do what other people want them to do for their life as opposed to what they truly have in their heart or what really would make them happy, right? And so what do, right? They go to college, they get a good job, they meet a nice woman, they have 2.5 incredible kids, and then one day, right, they just realize, wait a second, fuck this, I don't want to do this anymore. I've been living a life for somebody else. And so what happens? They freak out and they basically go, they sleep with their secretary Brenda, they get a sports car, and then everybody's like, oh my God, what happened? And everybody's like, I never saw it coming, what happened? What happened was he was finally honest with themselves or realized he was gonna die. And I really think that's one of the things that happens as you start to get a little bit older, more experienced. You start thinking about things a little bit differently, right? And you realize that you don't have as much time as you thought you did. I've been thinking a lot about the whole concept of reinventing yourself, right? And I feel like it's something that each and every one of us should kind of reevaluate every few years, right? Are you happy with what you're doing? Hey, how you doing? Maybe I need to reevaluate what I'm doing with my life. I'm gonna go back the other way and go back and sit where I wanted to sit. Anyway, you know, I really feel like it's a good thing. It's a good exercise to kind of every few years kind of analyze, like, where are you and are you happy? Are you currently satisfied with what you're doing? Because it's okay for it to change. And that's one of the things that I think a lot of people could benefit from is just really being analytical about your happiness and where you are in life, right? I feel like a lot of us do something, we get stuck, we feel like we have to keep going down this specific road for whatever reason, you know, whether or not it's because it's safe, it's secure, or other people expect us to, but it's this mindset that basically is going to fuck you in the end, because I truly feel like that is the reason why a lot of guys have these midlife kind of like adjustments, right? All of a sudden one day they wake up, they're like, screw this shit, I'm gonna go do what I want to do. The other reason why I feel like these guys, you know, a lot of times will have this midlife, you know, adjustment or do crazy things that are out of character is because they're searching. What they're searching for is excitement. They're searching for passion. They're searching for something different than what they've had. Well, the thing I can tell you from experience is if you're true to who you are and live the life that you want as opposed to what other people expect, a midlife crisis probably isn't gonna happen. All right, how's that? Good? Other than I'm sweating my ass off. Anyway, it just feels good to get outside and talk a little bit. So anyway, when I was 30 years old, I was a mess. I wasn't happy. I was actually at a very, very low, dark point. I couldn't see kind of like where my life was gonna go at that point, but I just started trying and experimenting with different things, right? And I decided at that point, hey, I wanna be an image consultant. And the thing that was so hard about that point was the fact that my identity up until the age of 30, it was all fitness, right? That's who I was as a person. That's who I knew myself to be. And that's what other people knew me to be. They knew me to be a fitness dude, right? But at 30 years old, I'm like, fuck this, I'm gonna try image consultant. I'm gonna learn to be a stylist, right? And I didn't know anything about that. I literally knew nothing about it, other than like, I kind of like shopping and I like clothing, right? And so I ended up just learning on the fly. It was kind of like fake it till you make it. And then 2 years later, in 2008, I decided to reinvent myself again and start a YouTube channel. I didn't know anything about technology. I didn't know anything about making videos. I just knew that, hey, I'm gonna try this. And the thing that you've got to be aware of is when you decide to make some type of shift in your life and reevaluate like where you are and where you want to go and what's going to mean happiness to you, you've got to be prepared for other people to not get it. You've got to be prepared for other people to basically say you're wrong or stop doing this or why are you freaking out. It's because they have this opinion and this view of who you've been. but it doesn't mean that's who you need to be in the future. And you've got to give yourself that permission, the flexibility, the freedom to reevaluate and then decide, you know what, I'm going to do this, or this is what I think is going to make me happy. It doesn't mean to be irresponsible. It doesn't mean to go sleep with your secretary and leave your wife and kids and go drive a Lambo or buy a Lambo, right? That's not what it's about. But I truly feel like if you are a man and you want to avoid this whole idea and notion of a midlife crisis, you've got to start being more analytical about happiness and where you are in life now. And don't wait. Don't wait until something bad happens. Don't wait until you finally are like, I can't take it anymore. Don't wait. What the fuck are you waiting for? Your life isn't gonna slow down, right? I blinked, literally, I blinked, and I'm almost 50 years old. I'm happy and I'm thankful that I did the things that I did and fucked the things up that I needed to screw up in order to get where I am now. If you would have told me, 20 years ago that I would be doing this and talking to a camera and I'd be, selling grooming products and talking about powdered balls, and that's what I was gonna be basically doing, I would have punched you in the dick, because that was not what success looked like. For me, success only was one thing, and that was fitness. It was fitness centers. But when that was taken away from me and I decided, you know what, this isn't gonna get it done in the future and I need to find something else, I just did it. Because when you're so low and when you don't have any other options and your back is against the wall, you're gonna make some decisions. And I just don't want you to get to that point when a lot of other people and their livelihood or their life or their happiness is involved. I would rather you now decide where you want to go. I would rather you now decide what you want to do, who you want to be, as opposed to waiting or doing the things that you are expected to do from your mom or your grandparents or your girlfriend or boyfriend or whoever. Now is the time. If you want to be a hairstylist, be a hairstylist. If you want to be a disco dancer, be a disco dancer. If you want to be a YouTuber, be a YouTuber. If you want to start a business, start a business. Join us at the White Label Empire, link below. But seriously, do not fall prey to what so many people do that destroys their life, and that is keep living the life that they are living, because making a change is not easy, and the repercussions and the ramification that you're gonna get from other people and what they think and what they say is also not easy. It's not their life, I promise you, it's yours. And you've gotta make that decision. You've gotta make the decision of what's gonna mean happiness or what's gonna make you basically feel fulfilled. And if you can do that, and if you can find it, and if you can truly be satisfied with the man that you are and the man that you see looking back at yourself in the mirror, you're ahead of the game, because I promise you, life, it's about happiness. However you find it, it's up to you. It's nobody else's goddamn business. And the funny thing is that when you choose to make a shift in your life or the way that you live or who you love, right, it's gonna be hard, and you're gonna basically have to feel like an imposter until you figure it out and keep doing it, because that's what happens. I can tell you from experience. You feel like an imposter. You feel like you're not the person that you should be because you've been this for so long and other people view you as this, right? But you keep doing it, you keep showing up, you keep pulling that thread, you keep scratching that itch, and eventually you're gonna become the person that you were trying to become. And then other people are gonna follow along and they're gonna view you as that person. The funny story is my YouTube channel. Like, I tell this story because it's appropriate. But when I first started posting YouTube videos, everybody thought I was the weirdest dude in town. My wife specifically was like, what the hell are you doing? Just go get a job, be an accountant. Why are you filming yourself? But it was something that I enjoyed and I just liked doing it. Nobody got it, nobody understood it, everybody thought it was weird. But look at me now. I'm not saying like I'm the most successful dude in the world by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm doing all right for myself, and it was because I believed in myself and decided that I was gonna change who I was, because I didn't wanna live a life for somebody else. I didn't wanna have that moment of awakening when I was 50 years old or 45 years old or 40 years old or 60 years old and realize that I wasted my entire life doing something that I wasn't passionate about, or something that I didn't wanna do, or something that other people wanted me to do. Fuck that. And so if I could leave you with one thing, gentlemen, it's reevaluate. Reevaluate who you are, where you are, and where you want to go and who you want to be. There's nothing wrong with taking a chance. There's nothing wrong with taking a risk. You've got to. You better do it. You better reevaluate, because I'm telling you, if you expect to avoid the whole trap and the mindset that so many men have, which is disappointment in themselves, in their own life, later on in life, you better fix it now. You're not too old to change. Not at all. You are absolutely the perfect age to change, right? Wherever you are in your journey, wherever you are in life, I just wish you the best, and I want you to do what you want to do, and I want you to be happy, healthy, and successful, whatever that means to you. You know, success doesn't mean that you've got to drive a Lambo or have a lot of money, not at all. Success to you might mean that you live in the jungle, you play drums twice a week, like you're hanging out with like koala bears, like whatever, right? It doesn't matter to me. It just needs to matter to you. And if you choose that road for you to go down, then go down it and run. Don't walk, run, because you're wasting time. Don't waste time. It's our most precious asset. We don't get more of it. There's no do-over, right? And the more I learn, the more I live, the longer I am on this earth, and the older I get, the more I realize that time is so precious, and you never know when it's going to be up, right? You never know when your time is going to be done. And so don't live a life for somebody else. Don't live a life that you're not excited about or that you don't love. It doesn't mean that life's not going to be hard. It's all hard. You just got to choose your hard. Being poor is hard. Being rich is hard. Being unsatisfied is harder. Gentlemen, the train is coming, so I gotta go. That's your life, gentlemen. It's not stopping, it's not waiting. What are you waiting for? Do what you want to do. Live the life you deserve and be happy, healthy, fulfilled, and awesome, gentlemen.